Hi, I'm DaemonRiRi. I'm an Omnis Magic practitioner and a tarot reader here on this channel. You can also call me Riri for short as well. This is my April predictions, Mercury Spicy Grenade Retrograde reading. It is a pick-a-pile or collective reading that, I did. This one's a little special because I did do this at on my live stream on Twitch, which I stream Fridays bi-weekly. My first hour of streaming is going to be about tarot. So if you like that type of community and gathering and chatting during collective readings or pick-a-piles, go ahead and check that out. With that being said, you will notice some emotes flying around in some of your readings during this video, and also me interacting or responding to a chat. Let me know your thoughts on this type of vibe or this type of reading. Just a reminder, you could have been anywhere in the world, but you ended up here. And for that, I thank you for this blessing. Mwah! Without further ado, let's get on with the pick-a-pile reading. Hello guys, once again, this is going to be pile number 1, this is going to be pile number 2, and this is going to be pile number 3. This is going to be April predictions and however else Mercury retrograde is going to be for 2025. Yeah, so boom. Alright guys, this is going to be pile number 1. And this is going to be some interesting, maybe interesting April for you guys with what Mercury has in store for you. This is an oracle deck, so we don't do reversals on this. But this says the game of love. Look at this. Oh, by the way, this is an amethyst. So amethyst, for those of you guys who also pick this, is really about trusting your intuition. This could also be like the spiritual practices that you're doing. So the game of love might be your spirit team also coming in for this specific April for you guys. I do want to say it's kind of a very, I have a feeling that it's very ancestor based, only because I see, for me, I see like weaving as in like making clothes. And whenever I think about making clothes, I think about my grandmother who always liked to like make clothes for me. So I have a feeling that for pile number 1, a lot of what might happen for you guys in April might involve family, your ancestors, whether that be your spirit team, intuitive thoughts that your intuition might actually be family based. It doesn't need to be blood related. But it could be other relationships that you consider as family as well. And but yeah, there's a lot of either spicy, by spicy I'm not saying romantically, but a lot of spicy like issues and or scenarios of great both calming, when I say calming, I think it's like an intense calming emotional feedback from family, whether that be from you specifically or from the people you consider family. But there's a lot of interaction, new places to go, and I just see a lot of your love for them and their love for you becoming really fun, honestly. Like I said, it's going to be intensely calming, intensely new in some way, like a new version of your family will be unlocked during April. All right. What are some of the tarot cards we're going to pull for you guys? All right. We're not doing that. Okay. Let's see what this dynamic is going to be for you guys for April when it comes to family experiences. So we have the 4 of Wands pop up for you guys, which makes sense. This is a house of marriage as well. Marriage within the home, marriage within your... Now, it doesn't have to be actually contract, literal marriage based, but like the people you are going to either marry, spiritually, literally, and also you feel like you're like an old age couple with your friends. Have you ever experienced that when you're with your friends And it's like and some people tell you, you guys look like you're an like old age couple, even though you're not actually a married couple, you know? It's just, that's how much of an experience of a friendship and or relationship you have with this person. And then the next card we get is the Star. And then let's see. We have the Nine of Wands in reverse. And then we have the Three of Wands. Okay, so there is a lot of wand energy mixed in with a major arcana, which is the Star card. Interesting. So this is going to be you in the family dynamic, and this is going to be your family in dynamics with you. I hope that made sense. So Four of Wands, I mentioned, is about like types of marriages and or in this case the type of contracts like you made with your family members or your relationships, right? It's in reverse, which means I mentioned Mercury retrograde. It could be like there might be confusion. I think I wanted to say issue, but the word really that came up is confusion. And so if confusion happens, Nine of Wands is also something that pops up in reverse, which is people are tired and exhausted. Okay. So when I say people, I mean you. I mean you, because remember, the first two cards is a focus about you in the dynamic of a relationship. So what does that mean? You are very exhausted, which means a lot of what you are about to go through in April is your reaction to you being exhausted, right? And totally valid. A lot of the promises kept aren't being met. Not that not that promises with your family and or friends or relationships are going to be broken. I just think that you have such an interesting expectation in April that it's not going to be met, and it's going to be met with your family and your relationships with confusion. So just keep that in mind, that that is a big thing that might happen for you guys in April, is confusion within promises, contracts, and just the love that is there and is very, very much solid there. And so what are some other things that pops up for that dynamic? So we have our family being in the Star, and there's three piles. And then we have them at Three of Wands. So our family is in a healing state, a healing stage in April for a lot of pile number one. They're in a healing process, which means all the confusion of the promises that were made is going to be confusing because your family is healing from other shenanigans that are popping up in Mercury retrograde. And what is that said confusion that is popping up for your family? And that is, no, you can interrupt my flow. It's fine. We're here on a live stream. You're okay. And oh no, the interruption has made me forget. Just kidding. The confusion that is popping up for the promises kept is because a lot of your family is reassessing their future. Sorry, I had to be fun, you know. But yeah, a lot of your family members are really, really butthurt about where they are currently at, and it's because of how they perceive themselves in the future. Guys, April for pile number one is a serious matter for them because they don't want to fuck things up. It's a new year, and a lot of, I think, the people you're related to or friends with or whatever just hit their 30s or their 40s or like a new like decade. A lot of them probably are about to hit their new decade or did hit their decade, and their whole life scenario is starting to be like, what am I doing? Which means be kind, be nice. They're healing from their past selves and the stupid shenanigans that they were like, why did I do this? But it was a life experience, you know? Like, life is an experience. It's okay if we frick up. It is never too late to figure out your future in the present. But here's the thing, you gotta figure out your future in the present because your future doesn't exist, which is something you're going to remind them. right? You're coming from exhaustion. You're going to be exhausted from a lot of the topics that is probably going to come up when it comes to family. And you got to remind them, like, hey, man, we need to stay in the present. The future's not going anywhere, right? Like, the only way it's going to be shaped is if we stick in the moment and we figure out what's happening in the moment. And if that's not working and that's not helping and you're not figuring out things, then the best thing of the game of love is to have fun and play. Have fun, go out, go outdoors, do an activity together, forget the freaking future for a second and just live a little, together. And that will be the most healing part of this contract or quote unquote marriage with these people that you are dealing with, right? There we go. So now we're going to go into eat cheesecake. Cheese is healing. It is healing. So now we're going to go into what Michael cards have to say about some topics or some things that will be in question in April. And that'll make sense once we see the cards pop up. Okay. Ooh. All right. So the first one is keep your eyes on your targeted intention. And then the next one's going to be ask Archangel Michael to help you with this situation. And honor and trust your feelings. Your feelings. Okay, so not if you're lactose intolerant. Keep your eyes on your targeted intention. I was mentioning this, right? There's going to be a lot of confusion about some promises being made or the ones that were made in the past because people are contemplating their future to some degree. So guess what? We're going to have to remind each other as well, like what's our target situation for the future that we can do in the present moment. So some of the prayers here says, thank you, Archangel Michael, for helping me focus on my inner vision and intention. I ask your guidance in releasing any fears or doubts. So that's some of the things and topics that may pop up as well is fear. Fear is a very big emotion, and it's one of the things that helps stop us from moving forward. So if there's a situation with your relationships in April that you can very much notice that fear is involved, we need to remind each other, like, first of all, the game of love. Remind each other, like, how much you love each other and that we can take our time. We can take our time. We have the time. We have each other. I'm here to support and help, right? And then the next card is Archangel Michael. Ask Archangel Michael to help with this situation. Now, for those of you guys who are heavily spiritual, and if anybody works with Archangel Michael, words, then go ahead and do so. You can absolutely write a petition to Archangel Michael if you want to. But for those who don't really work with Archangel Michael, how this translates for me is don't be afraid to ask for help. And also don't be afraid to let your friends, your family, your relationships know that it's okay to ask for help. There's a lot of the times we're going to be thinking, especially since Mercury doo-doo wawa is going to be like, oh, this is my problem. I don't want to have to put this on anybody, or I'm just going to be triggered. Here's the thing. A lot of us feel like we don't want to burden other people, but because it becomes pretty real, it's okay to ask for help. Honestly, it's also okay to cry, but like the biggest one here is if it's too much, if April is being too much, do not hesitate to ask for help or ask permission from your relationships to like rant, vent, and then go get ice cream or something. But yeah, ask for help. 3, honor and trust your feelings. Should I say more? I think you picking the pile with the amethyst, right? And this is funny because in the beginning I switched to crystals. It's about intuition. Honoring your feelings, honoring your trust, honoring your intuition, and just letting people know, you don't mean harm. Letting yourself know you don't mean harm, right? Everything in this situation is out of love. Everything in this situation is about healing. And if you get triggered, it's okay to apologize. It's okay to apologize. All right, last cards. For pile number 1, we're going to pull 2 other cards from the Amor et Psyche deck to finish off why this is the game of love for you guys. And that is the ideal romance and full intimacy. Look at that. It's just coming into union with your relationships, right? This is the ideal, like, I'm going to say that right now too. I think pile number 1, you have really solid relationships going on too, which is really cool because you guys have a lot of blessed ones. I think the April is really just trying to let you know you need to nurture the relationships you currently have. Yeah, that's really the big one for you guys. Pile number 1 is nurture the relationships you already have, because it seems like they're going to go through a lot of crap in April, and you guys are each other's support system. You know? You know? And there you go. That's pile number 1. I forgot to grab some thoughts for the trash for pile number 1 real quick. For some trash fortune. I'm just going to read them. So I got one. Pile number 1, you got a small gift can bring joy to the whole family. Look at that. We got a fortune that talks about family. Okay, you probably can't read it. Hold on. A small gift can bring joy to the whole family. And there you go. When in doubt, give your family members and or your relationships a gift when they're having a hard time. There you go. Perfect. Pile number 2, we have the Desert Rose. And then this card, which is Beyond Words. Ooh, that is a spicy card. Oh my gosh. Beyond Words. Okay, so Desert Rose. Honestly, the only thing I'm getting from this crystal right now and how Beyond Words is being kind of added for your April is a lot of body language, and also I hear the word heated or weather. By weather, I mean like literal, like if it's raining, if it's sunny. So I feel like in April, a lot of what may happen for pile number 2, the weather might be something that affects us intensely, emotionally, and I'm not really sure why just yet. We're going to find out. But the weather is important, especially heated moments. Now, these heated moments isn't necessarily something I'm getting as like being mad or anything. It's just I feel like you might end up being in a situation where you end up being in heated moments where it has nothing to do with you, but you witness people getting heated or triggered. Yeah, and it's beyond words, or like, and when I say beyond words, I feel like a lot of people won't be able to explain themselves well when they have such an intense feeling, and unfortunately you're there for the ride. That's what I'm getting for pile number 2. Let's see what other themes are involved for the situation of beyond words. But yeah, it just seems like people are heated, dancing around their emotions. Can't really tell how to explain or describe what they're going through. We have the 7 of Pentacles. We have the Lovers in reverse. Ooh, interesting. And then we have the Hermit in reverse. We got 2 major arcanas for this pile. We have 3 major arcanas for this pile. It's the Chariot. Oh my god, this is intense. Okay, so pile number 2, we're gonna be experiencing a lot of different emotional states. They're not just gonna be anger. It's just gonna be a whole range of emotional experiences, whether that be yourself or other people. You get to experience them going through some shit. And it is beyond the words of explanation. So the first 2 cards talks about your involvement, about the intensity of emotions being high, and then these are the people you might run into for the next 2 that are experiencing intense emotional states of being. So 7 of Pentacles, and then we have the Hermit in reverse. 7 of Pentacles talks about patience, right? So, ooh, April's going to be testing your patience with these people. And like I said, it's not even just going to be anger. It might test your patience about how people get triggered, how people are sad. They might remind you states of emotional beings from the Hermit that you have not unlocked, but you haven't enlightened yet, because it's in reverse. The Hermit is in reverse, and the Hermit talks about putting light into a situation that needs clarification, right? And the Hermit being in reverse is about coming down from the mountain so that you can be involved in the situation in order for you to actually figure out what emotional state you're going through or what people are going through, and just have an explanation and like a tool set for you to go through these states of being. Now, the people that you might run into is the Lovers in reverse, and then we have the Chariot. So the Lovers in reverse is about polarity. It doesn't always involve love, but I do feel like this is about a balance of both mind, body, and spirit for a lot of people. And we have the Chariot, which is forward moving. It's right side up, which means a lot of people are constantly moving. This is so funny because you have the card of patience and then people who are just constantly moving forward, but there's no balance between where their mind, their heart, and their body is currently at. And this is a very big part of the people you're going to run into. It's a major part of their life. It's major arcanas, which means this is going to go past April, or it's going to be the whole April. It's going to be this intense for them. And for you, it's really just learning from their experience. You're going to be learning from a lot of different people on how to deal with intense, or like making note, like, oh, that's an intense emotion. I know I'm not going through it, but that's something to take note of because maybe I might go through that. So Beyond Words is really going through in April for us, learning the other people's habits in order to unlock other habits that may have aligned with that in the past coming forward, right? Okay. After that, we're going to have, oh, I think we did Michael next after, right? We did Michael. Okay. We're going to go ahead and pull from Michael and see what specific situations that it will actually super involve, what topics it might or might pop up for April that involves this intense energy. Okay. So we got guarded and protected, sense of humor. Ooh, we love that. And then let go fear. Oh, it talks about fear again. That's so funny. Fear now. Um, I don't know if you noticed, because the previous pile had a bunch of people, and this is literally just centered on Michael himself. And they look guarded and defended in some way, or like it's really just focusing on the self. So what I would say for guarded and protected for pile number 2, your guys' April is learning about boundaries, learning to protect yourself from other people's energies, but also at the same time, the guarded version of this is really just also learning how to communicate these boundaries as well. And also kind of respecting the situation. You're not going through the intense emotions or intense feelings that other people are going through, but be very respectful is a big one on this one too. And know that you guys are in a safe space. Any topic that you guys are going through, you guys are in a safe space. Nothing is like there to truly harm you, but really it's just building up on your boundaries and making them stronger. Sense of humor is a really interesting defense mechanism that we all may share. This is a big hint to the people that you are dealing with, is that their defense mechanism might be explained with sense of humor. And so if they can't explain their intense feeling, they might be using jokes, sarcasm, um, dark humor. I think I said dark humor, but yeah, sarcasm, dark humor, just, yeah, things that make you laugh. That is the hint of the situation. If it starts getting intense like this, it's time to be like, okay, let's take a pause on this conversation and let's reassess what we learned. Because once it starts becoming funny during Mercury retrograde, some people don't always take everything funny during this time. And it can trigger you and it'll trigger your patience, right? So once it gets to that point, apology is a really big one if, it gets messy. But don't overdo it with humor, especially in April, because it might actually backstab you for humor. Okay. And the reason I say that is because let go of fear. I think a lot of the emotional intensity will be involving a lot of fear, um, that might involve how to communicate with others. And I think a lot of the people might be going through like being worried about other people's thoughts, and they don't want to come across as being a bad person, and I think that's why humor is very much involved, because who can hurt you if you make fun of yourself? But if you continuously to do it, sometimes it'll trigger other people because they know how intense an emotion you are currently going through. It's complicated. It's complicated, but just really let go of the fear. You guys are friends. And once again, remind yourself, what is your relationship with these people? And if you don't know them, then walk away. Why stay there? Why do you have to stay in a relationship, or random people's conversations if you don't even know them? Just walk away. It's okay. You don't have to be a savior for everything. Your peace of mind is also very, very important, you know? You know. I guess these are the last two cards. They just both popped up. Okay. The last two cards for this pile is going to be Erotic Bliss and Love's Embrace. Okay. So Erotic Bliss is kind of reminds me of the intense feeling of ignorance. And like ignorance is bliss, right? Erotic bliss, which means I feel like a lot of the situation that may be involved might be people who are either attracted to you, but they don't know you well enough. And so, obviously, learning all this new intense emotions are something to go through. There's going to be a lot of fear involved. Um, but, like I said, don't always solve everything with humor. Erotic bliss is also about actually feeling good, that it doesn't even matter what the topic was in the first place. Just each other's presence was enough to be blissful, right? No thoughts, no hard thoughts involved. We're going to get into trash thoughts later, but like, yeah. Anyway, Love's Embrace. I feel like a lot of the situation that is going to pop up for you guys, pile number 2, is going to be solved with hugs, holding hands, you know? Of the feel of touch, I think. Obviously be respectful, have consent, always ask to have a hug or whatever. But I think for a lot of pile number 2, hugs are a very big thing. Being in someone's embrace, holding someone's hand, shaking someone's hand, um, playing like a hand game of like paddywhack. I don't know what it's called. You know what I'm talking about? Like those like children's like hand games. I can't think of one of them right now. I don't know why, but I feel like that also might be involved. Clapping or just hand interaction is a big thing that I'm also thinking of. But yeah, but please, consent is important. Consent is important, all right? All right, that is your reading, pile number 2. Hope that was beautiful. Real quick, this is going to be pile number 2's trash thought. You got those who seek will find. If you really, really want to solve an issue or situation or like an experience with the people you're involved with, research together with your friends, your family, or whoever it is that you're involved. Research together. If you guys are having an intense triggering moment, do some research because it might be involved with something that you guys just need to watch a video together with. There we go. Pile number 3, guys. We have the Super 7. We have the Super 7 and the card. Oh my gosh. Unhinged and released. Oh, sorry. Not unhinged. Me saying unhinged. It says uninhibited, but you know. Okay. Okay. All right. Well, you understand what's going on. Unhinged. Unhinged Super 7. All right, so I feel like for this one, there's gonna be a lot of partying for April. We have a lot of fun times, maybe a little too fun. A lot of, and if it's not really partying, I feel like you guys are gonna be watching some cool shows in April. And we're gonna be unwinding, if you know what I mean sometimes, but like we're gonna party hardy for pile number 3. So what are some things to keep in mind? Also, Super 7 is just an intense crystal. Not that I know what it is, but it is. What I do know is that it contains 7 minerals, which means there's gonna be a lot of things involved with you having fun in April. And that's the best thing I can say right now. We're gonna have a lot of intense fun times in April, and let's see what that may mean for pile number 3. Okay, I'm so bad at shuffling on camera, but I swear to goodness sake, I can shuffle. Released and unhinged. Release the unhinged. But yeah, it's uninhibited and released. All right. We have the 2 of Swords, and we have the 5 of Pentacles. And then at some point, we have the 9 of Swords. Oh, we have a lot of sword energy. Ooh, okay. And then we have the Fool. Oh, we have a major arcana. So all the piles today had at least one major arcana. So that's cool. All right. So the first 2 cards are going to be talking about what exactly is uninhibited and released, or what are some unhinged, since I freaking said the word unhinged. What are some intense partying, intense like devilry shit, if you know what I mean, is gonna happen. So a lot of the devilry shit is going to be 2 of Swords in reverse, and then a 9 of Swords in reverse, which involves the self. And then not pile, but the last 2 cards right here are gonna talk about situations that involved this intense party hardy shenanigans, which is the 5 of Pentacles, and then we have the Fool card. Okay, so a lot of new beginnings, right, for the situation of why we may be going through this. So we need to keep in mind 2 of Swords is about making a decision, or being put in a place where you have to decide on plans. I also get a sense of feeling of indecisiveness popping up for you guys as well. 9 of Swords is the stress about making decisions in April. So we're gonna see what types of decisions that will be about with Archangel Michael in a little bit, but like the biggest thing about you needing to party hardy or party hard, or just having an intense experience of just having too much fun, is because you kind of want to forget the decisions you need to make. So I feel like this is going to come into the involvement of procrastination as well. So we might go through procrastinations in April. And then it's going to be really stressful when it happens. Um, I do also think for some of us, this is about changing new career paths, and or leaving your current house spaces, or moving out of some kind, or moving in with people as well could be involved. But yeah, you guys, roommate situations might be a thing for you guys in April as well. And a lot of it, really, like I mentioned, is a lot of decision making with the people you currently live with. Now, obviously, this does not have to be with family members, but if you live with someone, this is very highly a situation where you guys are going to be making plans about the house and the space that you guys are all living in. If you live by yourself, I feel like this is going to be even more intense for you, because the only person you're having an argument with is yourself. So like those are some things that are popping up for April for a lot of us, is like how we live our life right now, our way of life, and how we Be experiencing how we live our life with people we live with or live with ourselves. And we kind of just want to forget a bunch of things. So we try to party, we try to watch and distract ourselves with shows, TV, music, concerts, is what I'm getting. So yeah, that's the big part of it. We'll figure out what that might mean. And then Five of Pentacles, what are some types of situations? Five of Pentacles talks about moving out as well. I was mentioning earlier, this could also be about sickness, health issues, and by health issues, what I'm getting in my messages is about like stability of your home, stability of your space, stability of your body, stability of money, career, is the biggest reason as to why to want to forget in April sometimes, because we're going to be reminded of weird stuff that we really don't need to figure out right away. Um, and then the Fool is new beginnings, right? So that right there, I think, is because you might be intensely wanting to experience change. I know we didn't get the Death card, but the reason why I got like moving out or leaving a space, because it's just you're kind of bored. April is really going to be an intense experience of boredom, procrastination for a lot of you guys, and you just want to do something new. You want to be spontaneous. And honestly, I think being spontaneous and partying, weirdly enough, as I've been explaining it, might actually be a good temporary solution for a time until eventually you are met with the reality of your stress. So how can we go about that? Let's go into Michael cards and see what are some things that he is going to kind of help guide us into this space, or what are some words of not really affirmations but motivations to get through this type of boredom or procrastination involved in April. All right. Do do do. Okay. Oh, thank you, Briarly, for sharing your thoughts on Super 7 as well. Briarly in our one of our mods mentions that it is the ingredient to accessing the spirit team and unlocking the knowledge of ancients being within. The high frequency of the stone helps one attune their energy to that of celestial beings, allowing one to be better understood, or better understand the meaning of purpose of their soul. Oh, I can see why boredom is involved then, if it is involving the spirit, or sorry, like your purpose. Okay, the person you're asking about is trustworthy. Oh, okay. Explore your options. Hello? Hello. Didn't I just say you might be in like in April you're going to come into intense experiences of like having to choose a bunch of shenanigans, and it's just indecisiveness, procrastination, and boredom. Archangel Michael's telling you to explore that. Oh my gosh. Okay. Anyway, third one. Oh, we got let go of fear again. Y'all, what is happening? Okay. So, some things to consider. I think a lot of the options that are involved in April is about the people, right? And the reason I say this is because the person you're asking about is trustworthy. So the options that are being involved is the people around you. It's, I guess, continuing a relationship with them, or wanting to build a relationship with them. Well, it seems like Archangel Michael is you're stressing too much over it. Make sure that I mentioned roommates earlier too. This could be about the roommates you're involved with. And if this is just you by yourself, trust your gut instincts, bro. Like, come on. But yeah, the people involved in your home, your stability, they mean well, they are trustworthy, not trying to fuck with you to some degree. So just know that the people around you are blessed people to be around. But yeah, overstressing is hard when you feel like the money that you're making isn't enough, or worrying about intensity of experiencing of your body, your home, your health. I know it's a lot. Y'all need to breathe. Breathe. The reason why I say breathe is because it's the swords, and the swords are involving the element of air, which means take a deep breath in and take a deep breath out, you know? But yeah, the people around you are trustworthy. Explore your options. As I was mentioning, you're going to be involved with a lot of different options or planning in April, which means not one or two or three is going to be right or wrong. It seems like all of the options don't have a hard no and a hard yes. It's what works for you when you experience all of your options. So just experience them one at a time, but this message is really about like experience your options in April. Like explore them for like a week and then try the other thing for a week. Like making it all of April, like all 3 or 4 weeks of April or whatever. But explore your options. It seems like you will make a decision once you've experienced them, and not because you're mentally trying to F yourself up by trying to figure out if this option is better by making mental scenarios, because that is you're backstabbing yourself when you're doing that. So you physically have to release yourself into the outdoors and and just practice those options that will be involved in April, whatever that may be. And like I said, a lot of those options are going to be involving the people you trust. They're going to be telling you some type of things that you guys are going to explore either together or individually. Anyway, letting go of fear. Now, this is about you not wanting to fully experience change, and but there's a drive to want something new in your life, right? There and cheer change is what I was trying to say. Change is a very, very difficult experience to have sometimes. We like where we're at because it's familiar. But in order to experience that change or that new beginning, we first must make the fear be valid, right? Be aware of the fear of change. Be aware of why you might be having a hard time choosing. Is it because your feelings are based off of like holding yourself back? Or is it because you are taking into consideration other people's thoughts and opinions? Overall, have a middle ground conversation with the people involved. And for you, it's really just what is doable. What's doable right now for you if you are living by yourself? Because, yeah, you can't do everything all at once, but what's doable, and then move on. Move on and try something else again. But just know, to wrap things up for this reading, guys, all the options are not right or wrong. You just have to physically experience them. And if people are involved, you'll need to do that willingly together and also have fun. Have fun. Be releasing. Be unhinged together so that you guys can figure out how the home space is going to actually be, or for yourself as well. Pile number 3, your trash thought of the day is the simplest answer is to act. I feel like this is explore your option and the simplest answer is to act are like the same freaking thing, you know? It's too accurate. The simplest answer is to act. Your options are doable. They are action based. They are not mentally based. So stop being stuck in your head, guys. Stop being stuck in there. You guys gotta release. You guys gotta take physical action for the options that or whatever plans you are taking. All right? All right. Let's see what other last 2 messages are involved for pile number 3. Ba-bam, ba-bam, ba-bam. Balance and unity and love's secret. Uh, oh my god. Bro. Balance and unity. Okay. So for this one is for balances of the home and the space. I was mentioning that we may not be like currently taking action for the things we want to do. So there's a balance. There is a way where you can think about like the plans that you want to execute. Go on a like use a journal. Use a journal to write down your thoughts and then execute them by planning which days you want to try them out. And then love's secret. You don't have to tell everybody your business. You don't have, which means you don't have to tell everybody your plans and your options and your thoughts in April, because I mentioned, I think earlier too, for a lot of pile number 3, a lot of other opinions might not be so solid sometimes. So you don't have to tell everybody your plans, you know? And there you go.